but I don't think there's really such a thing as a game over. Basically, if you run out of lives, then I think you do get a game over screen. But all it does is just kicks you out of the level that you're currently in, and it boots you back to the main world. But you still retain all of your gems, all of your dragons, all that mess. So death is a little bit more than a slap on the wrist, but it's not oppressive.
Is that you, Spyro? Are you the young dragon I've been hearing so much about? Ever since you're a wee puff of smoke, we've known,
You've known?
I forget.
Again, it's a very comic game. We have these little jokes in here, just adding characters to the world. But who knows? Maybe Spyro was the chosen one. Maybe he's part of the prophecy. I don't remember. I'm sure it wasn't important. Look at these textures too. How we can actually see like the rock strata on these canyon and walls and mesas. All right, make this glide here. It's a pretty long glide, but we can do it. Yeah. All right, what does that give me? I feel like we're missing 5. We are missing 5. The game is afoot. Where could that missing treasure be? This is part of the fun thing about Spyro. And, you know, I'm coming in at this from, you know, I don't want to aggrandize myself and say that I'm like an old pro or something. But I've beaten this game several times, and I've 100%ed it several times. And still, I can overlook treasure, you know? And so I have to really, like, pay attention to every nook and cranny of the environment. I think that's a real hallmark of fantastic design. That, you know, this is a game that, even after having played it for years, you can still overlook things, you know? Speaking of overlooking things, I'll just glide to this overlook. And there's my last 5 gems. Okay. 400 out of 400. Double check, make sure we got all of our dragons. 4 out of 4. Looking beautiful. We've already amassed 2,000 treasure. It's getting a fair penny in our pockets now, huh? Okay, so we've just done Dry Canyon. We've already done Cliff Town. Let's go over here and check out. Let's check out Ice Cavern. I think that's one of the harder levels here. Again, not that any of these levels are particularly challenging. Like I said, I think the challenge comes in from the Where's Waldo-like hunt for treasure. You know. Yeah, let's enter Ice Cavern. This is it's a pretty cool place. it's a great place to chill out. Now, interestingly, even though it's called Ice Cavern, it's actually an open-air region. And I did not realize this until a recent playthrough. That, like, you can actually look up and you can see stars. You know, I thought this whole thing kind of took place in an underground cavern. But no, it's wide open. Again, even in these more enclosed environments, we're still maintaining a sense of openness, a sense of this wide open world and atmosphere. Look up, we can see stars. Now, this isn't a fault on the developer's part, on the game's part. This is just the fault of the emulator. As you can see, when we get into these more open environments, those pop-ins on the side of the screen from hacking this game into widescreen mode become a lot more evident. You know, when we're in enclosed space, you almost can't even tell they're there. But when we see wide open environments, we see the sides of the walls disappearing everywhere. All right, so we got this big bountiful Yeti guy just kind of flaming in. Oh, snowball thrower. Oh, he got me. And there's a bat. Those bats are the fodder in this one. That's right. Alright, big guy over here flexing, showing us what he's got. He's just giving us some tickets to the gun show.
A word of caution, little one. Wait until you grow big, like me, before charging those large enemies.
I think this is a great place for the contractually obligated ice level in a platformer. You know, we're actually out in these desert environments, and it's as far removed from an ice cavern as you can possibly think, you know. Which is why it's so great that we have the ice cavern here to kind of break up that flow, you know, and keep things interesting, fresh, and unique. As you saw, Dry Canyon and Cliff Town, although they were very different levels, they shared a lot of aesthetic similarities, aesthetic settings. So it's nice to get into a totally different environment. And I think that we will see that as kind of a common theme throughout the worlds that we explore in Spyro. Like also in the Artisan's world, you'll notice a lot of it was, you know, idyllic green hills, but we also had Toasty, which was this lava castle, you know, to really break things up. Alright, so we're inside now. Got a couple different paths that we can go. Right there. Alright, so we got this chest here. Now what's interesting about this world is that it's a world of dragons, right? But we see some very human architecture here too. Like, look at these street lights that we have. That's very unique. That's not something you find in a medieval dragon setting, you know? So again, that we have this very unique art style here. Art direction, at least. Okay, so if you look over here to our left, we can see we've got a pedestal down there. We've got a glide too. It's gonna be a pretty tricky glide, but I think we can make it. Boom. All right. There's our key. So now we just gotta figure out how we're gonna get back up there, right? I'm sure we'll find a way. Glide over here. Careful, walk along these edges. Now, again, I could go straight forward, which is the obvious route, or I can go here and see what's through here. Hey, another dragon!
Thank you for releasing me.
Another dragon who didn't have much to say, but what are you gonna do? It's interesting that they all have unique names, and I'm a little curious how developers picked out those names. Some of them are, you know, seem to be references to Greek mythology, like Nestor or Argus, you know. And then some are just, I think I've seen some more common names too. Like, I don't think I've seen Craig or Bill or anything, but it's interesting, these dragon naming schemes. For that matter, I wonder how Spyro himself got his name. You know, it's got Pyro in there, so that's, you imagine that has a lot to do with it, right? You know, it's like, oh, we need a dragon, and his main attack's gonna be flaming stuff, gotta work Pyro in there somehow. I wonder if they just like took Pyro and started adding extra consonants on it, you know? See what works. Spyro, Dyro, Cairo, Myro, Chiro. Now, interestingly, we've got a big orc here, right? A big Gnorc. So that means that we can't flame him. But he's also got metal armor on, right? I'm sorry, he's big, so we can't charge him. He's got metal armor, which means we can't flame him. But if you look carefully, he's positioned awfully conveniently next to that cliff right there. So let's have a nice trip. See you next fall. This little alcove, get a little treasure chest. All right. Now it looks like this has actually led us back to this region that we first found the locked chest at. Todor!
Psst. Spyro, some big Gnorcs up ahead are wearing armor, and in the ice cave, armor can make their feet very slippery.
Aha, so we kind of did that segment a little bit backwards. I think you were supposed to, like, go that way first. And that way you get that gameplay hint of, like, how do I deal with this big orc, you know? Alright, now interestingly, we got some gems on these street lamps that we can't reach, but hey, there we go. Again, it's fun that there's so much in the world that we can interact with. These lampposts that rattle when we shake them. Cacti that we can burn, it'll shake off the burns. Those Those are all fun things that really help contribute to the world feeling alive. Alright, so let's unlock this one more time. Or go out here and unlock it for the first time, rather. I tell you, I just find the environment of Spyro to be so beautiful. Fantastic art direction, beautiful music, great sound design. The whole atmosphere is really inviting, and it's like literally impossible for me to not be happy when I'm playing this game. I don't know how much that has to do with just like the pure nostalgia factor, because this was one of my first games, so that maybe that had a lot to do with imprinting on me what I thought to be what I looked for in video games and what I really enjoyed. But oh no, look out! He's got to throw a snowball at me. There we go, I dodged it. I would like to think that it's just because the game is a delightful game, you know. Certainly, I've got a lot of nostalgia for it, but I think there's a lot this game has that's just gonna be enjoyable to anyone that takes the time to pick it up. You know, like I said, it's such an easy play. And I say easy in the sense of not, you know, patronizingly, you know, without challenge. Easy in the sense of just relaxing. You know, it's a video game that you can really put into the system after a long day of work and just goof around. You know, go around, explore some environments, maybe collect some treasure, and just feel good about it, you know? And I would compare this, you know, to titles like Super Mario 64 or what was Banjo-Kazooie, right? The PS1 N64 generation was really famous for having a lot of cartoony platformers, right? Crash Bandicoot even. Crash Bandicoot is kind of like the sister franchise to Spyro, you know? The developers, Naughty Dog and Insomniac, have a good corporate relationship together, and you'd often find little demos for each other's games in their games. It was good. And I do like Crash Bandicoot as well, so, right, you know, but it's a different kind of game, I think. Crash, and indeed Super Mario 64, Donkey Kong 64, Banjo-Kazooie, all of those games, they're fun, and I really enjoy them. But for a different reason, you know, I think we see a lot more of the challenging gameplay aspect of those, to the point where you got lots of time trials, you have lots of mini games, you have lots of flat-out hard boss fights, you know, and so the enjoyment from games like that comes more from beating the boss, conquering the challenge, you know. It's not just kind of a goof around sandbox game like Spyro is. Spyro, the thing that makes it fun is just seeing new environments, exploring those